Basically, we went to the extent of manually inputting the data, and today I understand we'll be doing it automatically. That was the crux
Okay,
of it.
so you completed data loading manually.
That is correct, yes.
And have you created attributes?
Have I created or did we create? Sorry, what was the
No,
question?
yesterday in our class, have you covered this attributes, creation of
Yes,
attributes?
yes,
Okay, great.
we did
So
that.
today we're going to start how to load data, master data attributes automatically. Fine. Okay. Data loading manually and attributes. Okay. Let's start. Log on to your SAP BW system. Okay. So when you take the data loading, okay, the data loading concept, especially, we have two types of data loading. What are those? If you take data loading, especially, we have two types of data. Okay, either it might be master data or transaction data. Okay, when you want to load this kind of data, then I have two options again under this: manual loading, automatic. Automatic will be always from flat file or database or ERP, that is SAP related data, okay, or any web services. Okay, so for that what I need to do is the first thing, you need to identify where the data is located. So it might be located on your computer or on server, okay, anywhere. So basically what we're going to say that we need to identify first where the data is located. So we have two options: on your computer, on server, or any remote computer, or any kind of computer. In the sense, a lot of options are there. It's a public folder, shared folder, remote computer, a personal computer, laptop, blah blah blah. Okay, so I call this is a source system. In a BW side, I'm going to call it as a source system. Out of BW, I'll call it as a computer, or I can say it is a server. So why I'm calling it as a source system? The reason because source system contains data files, okay, or source system contains database. You can say anything. Either might be in a files, the data is stored and located in the file, or in a database. When I'm talking about especially file, it will be always Excel, Microsoft Excel. I'm going to call this as a flat file in SAP BW. Database, you know, we can call it as a database itself. There is no other name. Okay, so if you want to load data automatically, first you need to identify where the data is located. You have two places, in your computer or in a server. So in a computer or server, I'm going to call this as a source system. What does it mean, source system? A source system is nothing but where the data is located, where the data files are located. Okay, so those files, in case if the data is located in a file, I'm going to call it is an Excel, Microsoft Excel, or flat file. If the data contains in a database, I can say it is a database source. Then I can say SAP also. Like this, I have a number of source systems. Okay, so what I need to do first, after identifying, for example, my data is located on my computer in one particular file on my desktop. Okay, so I'm calling my computer as a source system. So what are you going to call this Excel file? I'm going to call this Excel file is a data source. This Excel file is a data source. Why I'm calling it as a data source? And what is a data source? A data source is nothing but where the data is originally created and stored. That is called data source. It's a source of the data. The file is data source. The system is source system. Please observe, in this particular place I'm getting a word called system. System is nothing but your computer. So source system is always a machine. The data source always a file which contains a data, or database which contains a data. Okay, so data source is where the data is originally created and stored. That place is called data source. If any file contains a data, if any database contains a data, I am going to call that a data source in SAP BW terminology. Okay, so first thing is what you need to do: identify where the data is located, identify your source system, identify your flat file. So once you're done, this is a one, second step, third step. Once you've done this process, then what I need to do? You need to start connecting all these things one by one. Then you need to make a plan how the data has to be transferred from your file into BW. That is called modeling. I need to do first planning. According to my planning, I'm going to start designing my BW. That is called modeling. So what I need to do first you need to start just create one plan. So what is a plan? Let's say that I have a source system, okay, and I'm going to say this one. It's a very line here. Below line it is your PC. It's your computer or your server. The above line is going to be your BW system. Okay, now how I'm going to connect? This is a big task plan. So let me create a plan for this. Okay, so what I want to do is, first I want to create a data source. Okay, then what do you want to do? Then I want to create a data target. Then what do you want to do? So I want to connect this source system to my data source. Then I want to connect this to this. Okay, then what else you want to do? What else I want to do? I need to create my transformation. Where is the transformation? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so I can fill up also this one in case if you want. Okay, so what is this? This is going to be my source system. This is going to be my data source. This is going to be my data target. Okay, so the data has to move from here to here. Then from here to here the data has to move. This is my plan. So first I need to do, this is the first step. I need to create a source system. Second step is data source. Third step is going to be data target. The connectivity and everything we're going to see how to be created. Have we created a source system yesterday, Dinesh? Dinesh, do you have any idea? Have you created a source
No,
system?
I wouldn't think so, no.
Okay, let me start. See, this is my plan. I'm going to according to my plan. This is my first thing. I want to create a source system. So what is a source system? A source system is nothing but like in a connectivity in between your BW system and the place where the data is located. In this example, the data is located in my computer. For example, let me show you where is the data. I have a flat files folder. So I have here attributes data. I have some data in my Microsoft Excel. This is my flat file. So I want to connect to this flat file, this Microsoft Excel from the BW. So I need to find out from where you have to create. You have two options. Either you have to create from your computer or you have to create a connectivity from your BW system. Let's come to the computer side. I don't have any kind of tools or options to create a connectivity in between my Excel sheet and my BW system. So it is not possible for me to create connectivity from the computer end. So what is the other option? I have to create connectivity from the BW end. So let me check it out. What are the feasibilities are there? Okay, first log on to BW system. I'm going to enter a transaction code is going to be RSA13. Guys, you have to remember all these transaction codes. You need to keep in mind, if I enter RSA13, where exactly it is taking me inside. Please observe, when I enter RSA13, it's taking me to source system. Can you see the source system here? So here I have a number of source systems are available. So right now my task is I want to connect to my Excel sheet. That is a file system, right? So if I want to create a new source system, there is a header called source system. Right click on it, select create. Here it is going to give you a list of the source system, which one you want to create. So I have a list of source systems are available here. So see, I have a SAP system and I have a source system called BW also. One BW system is going to be source system for another BW system. Yes, it is possible. Then I have a BODS, I have a file system, I have a database system, SAP UDS, web services, external systems. So here my task is I want to load the data from file interface. That is called file system. Can you see the icon? It shows a PC here. Okay, now select this, click on continue. It is going to ask you immediately what is the technical name. For example, I'm going to give technical name PC underscore, I think it is a 9 p.m. batch, right? Okay, 9 p.m. I can say it is a flat file source system for 9 p.m. batch. Please observe that we are not going to touch any kind of configuration or technical details here. The reason because it is already pre-configured. Your job is to only to enter the name and the description of the connectivity. You may ask me a question here. So if I don't do any configuration, how the system is going to create a connectivity in between my computer and this BW system? Because the reason it is, it's already pre-configured. You don't need to do again configuration. You need to do only give a name for the connection, whatever you're going to create. Okay. So once you enter the technical name and description, click on continue. It's going to take some time to create a connection, establish a connection in between your source system, which is a PC, your personal computer, and your BW system. Once it is done, you can always go to a folder called file. This is a place where exactly your file system will be stored. You need to wait for a few minutes because I have to show you this. You have to create on your systems. Everyone should create one source system for you. For all the examples for training purpose. If you see here, for every connection there is a one folder. For BW connection I have one folder. For SAP 1, BODS, external systems, database system, UD connectivity, web services. So whenever you create a particular source system, that will be stored under the related folder. So now you can see that the system is processing, it's creating some tables. You can see on the taskbar on the bottom of the screen. It is a little bit time consuming process because it has to establish a lot of connectivities in between your file system and BW. So once it is created, from now onwards we're going to use this particular source system. Yeah, it is done. Now expand this. Can you see here I have a flat file source system for 9 p.m. batch. So now I need to find out whether the connection is established or not. Right click on it, select check. On the status bar it says source system connection is okay. So what does it mean? Now I have a connectivity in between my PC and my BW system. Okay. So the step 1 is completed here. Then what is the step 2? I need to start creating a data source. Before creating a data source, you need to find out what are the data is available and how many info objects I need required to create. Okay. So let's go back here. Minimize your BW system. Open your flat file. This is my attributes flat file. Okay. So here I have a header called salesman ID, name, age, address, phone number. So first I need to identify how many columns this particular file system has. It has 5 columns. So what does it mean? I need to create 5 info objects. Since it is a master data, so I have to create characteristic info objects. To do that, go back to BW system, select info objects. Okay, this is my info area. So right click on info area. Okay, select create info object catalog. If you want to create new one, let's say that info object catalog for exercise, for example, 3. Characteristic info object catalog for exercise 3. Okay, otherwise flat file loading automatically. The info object catalog type is going to be characteristics. System type or namespace, press enter to select cus. We already discussed this one if I remember. I'm seriously sorry guys, because I have a couple of batches simultaneously running. I'm not aware of what we have taught yesterday class or previous class. So I'll be keep asking you, please don't mind us. Are you aware of this part? System type or namespace? Dinesh or Sai?
Yes. This,
okay.
Yeah, this we've gone through.
Thank you very much. Okay. Click on create. So when you create, it's going to create your info object catalog. Now click on activate.
Yes.
So please observe. Yes, Sai. You have any questions? Okay. So once you activate, please observe, I got my info object catalog. There is a back button. If you don't like the screen, just click on back button or F3. The screen will be disappeared. You can see exercise 3, flat file loading automatically. Right click on this. Let's say create info object. Now I'm going to create info object SMID underscore 4 salesman ID. Press enter. Now it is going to ask you what is the data type. Since I want to enter alphanumeric values here, let's select characteristic. Length is going to be 5 digits. Now I want to expand the screen. There is a button called navigation on or off. If you click on this, it will become a full screen. This is called on. If you click on again the same button, it will become off. You get previous screen. Okay, now I want to make only full screen. So click on. So please observe here I have a master data / text. Here it has with master data with the text. At this point of time, I'm not loading with the text data. So uncheck this. What happens if I check this part? If you check this part, it is going to create a table unnecessarily even though you're not loading a data. Text type data. As we discussed in a previous class, we have 3 different types of master data. Master data attributes, master data text, master data hierarchy. At present, in this example, I'm loading a master data attributes, so I don't want to check this. See, can you please observe here? There is a text table is going to create if you check this one. If you uncheck, the table will be disappeared. It's not going to create. So I don't want to waste unnecessarily the space in my database in the backend system. So you need to be conscious what data you're loading, what is required. We don't want to create anything unnecessary which is not required. So please uncheck this one. With master data should be there. The reason because if you uncheck this one, you cannot load attributes. Please observe there is an attribute tab which is disappearing here. If I check this one, you get the attribute tabs again. So it should be checked always in case if you are creating attributes. Now let's select attributes tab. Let me create attributes. SName underscore 4. Press enter. Press enter to select. Now enter salesman name. The data type character 10 digits. Press enter. SH underscore 4. Press enter. Press enter. Enter description. Salesman age. Data type numeric. Length 2 digits. Press enter. Salesman address underscore 4. Press enter. Press enter. Enter description. Salesman address. Data type character. Length 10 digits. Press enter. Salesman phone underscore. Press enter. Press enter. Salesman phone number. Data type numeric. 10 digits. Press enter. This is how you create attributes. Please remember, I am creating all these attributes, whatever I am creating, all these attributes under salesman ID. So all these attributes are dependent attributes for this salesman. These are all dependent info objects. These are also info object. Of course, I call attributes since I am creating under salesman ID, but I can say these are all the dependent info objects to the salesman ID. What does it mean? Whenever I call salesman ID in the reporting time or anywhere, all my attributes follows my salesman ID. So I don't need to call all of these things individually one by one. If I call SMID, automatically all the attributes belongs to SMID will follows. That is called attributes. And I have a types of attributes. There are two types: display attributes and navigation attributes. Display attributes by default, whatever the attributes you're going to create, can you please observe? All are display. Dis stands for display. What does it mean? Display attributes means I can only use this for reading purpose or display information purpose. I can only read the data. That is called display. Navigation attributes, I can drill down the data into different levels. What does it mean? I can filter the data. I can categorize the data. For example, I have 100 records. Out of 100 records, I have 20 records belongs to Hyderabad salesman. Now, if I make my address as a navigation attributes, then the data will be categorized based on the address. So first it will display all the Hyderabad salesman, next Bangalore, next so on. That is called navigation. So the question here is, how do I make my attribute as a navigation attributes? Very simple. There is a button called navigations. It is called on or off. If I click on this one, please observe, now it has been changed to nav. What does it mean? It becomes navigation. If you want to again make it as a display, click on same button, on, off. Now it is an off. Click on, click on again, off. This is a way how you can make any attribute as a navigation. But remember, if you want to make any attributes as a navigation attribute, by default, all the attributes are created for only display purpose. It says only attribute. So if you make it as a navigation, you cannot activate. It will give you an error. So then what I can do? Select whatever the attributes you want to make it as a navigation. Double click on it. Okay. So when you double click on it, before that let's activate this. It says there is a sname underscore 4 is not available in M version because this problem will be coming after 7.3.1 version. So what you need to do is select all of the attributes, delete, activate. This is a workaround, but 7.3 system you don't get this problem. You can click on activate, it will activate. See, now all info objects are activated. Now click on back button, select yes. It says now activate inactive info objects. What is inactive info objects? All attributes going to activate now. Please see, click on the status bar, phone, address, everything is activating now. Once you activate your salesman ID without attributes, it comes out. Now what you need to do, see, all your attributes has been created already. Now select your primary object, salesman ID, double click and open, expand it, click on change, attributes tab. Now please re-enter, that's it. This is the only thing you need to do. Press enter. You don't need to create again, it's already created. Simply enter the technical name, it will take you the description and automatically everything will display. sh_4, s address _4, s phone number _4. Okay, once you done this, now make your navigation address as a navigation attributes. Now double click on this address. There is a box called attribute only. Please make sure that this is a checkbox. You need to make sure that if you want to make this particular attribute as a navigation, this box should be unchecked. Otherwise, it will not activate. Uncheck this. You want to see that? What happens if I uncheck this one and activate? Let's see that. Okay, I'm not going to uncheck. Continue. Let me activate. Please observe, when activating it's throwing an error. Character s address _4 is exclusively an attribute. Cannot be a navigation attribute. See, the reason because by default it is only display. You cannot make it as a navigation until if you don't uncheck that box. So what I need to do? Close this, double click, uncheck, continue. Now activate. You don't get any message now. See, it's asking, do you want to activate dependent info objects? Continue. Say, activate in spite of warning. Yes. Now it's activating everything. Click on F3. You can see all your attributes has been activated. So my creation of info objects is done. Now my next step is going to be create of data source. Now I need to find out where is my file is located. Okay, go back to BW. Now select data sources. As we said in yesterday, if you want to create info object, I need to create catalog. This catalog I need to create under info area. So what is a process of creating info object? First I need to create info area. Why I'm creating info area? Info area is nothing but it's going to categorize, it's going to arrange, organize all your catalogs. Okay, why I need to create a catalog? Catalog is going to organize all your info object. Similarly, if you want to create a data source, you have to create application component. Application component is nothing but a folder like object which is going to organize all your data sources. So how do we create application component? Very simple. You need to right click on your data source header. Please observe, when I'm going to right click on data source, it says data source for PC_3 flat file system. But this is not the flat file which I have created, source system. I have created something called 9 p.m. So this is not my source system. So what I need to do? I need to change my source system. This is icon. Click on this file. Here it is, 9 p.m. batch. Select. Now can you see? Now right click on this. Say create application component. It is just like a folder like object which is going to organize all your data sources. Okay, enter application component _ 9 p.m. application component for 9 p.m. batch. Press enter. Now I got my application component. This is a folder. Let's create all your data sources under this particular folder. So how do I create? Right click on application component, create data source. It's going to ask you what is the technical name of your data source. Data source underscore master data attributes 4. Okay, for example, I'm creating example 4, so I'm selecting 4. Now it is going to ask you what type of data you want to load. I have a list of options here: transaction data, master data text, master data attributes, hierarchies, segmented data. But what type of data we are loading now? We are loading a master data attributes, so you have to select that. Now click on continue. So this type of data source is going to accept only master data attributes. This is what I set up. Now it's going to ask you, please enter description. Data source for master data attributes. Okay, example 4. Copy this and paste it for short, medium, long description. Now let's expand the screen. I have a second tab called extraction. In this extraction tab, there is an option called adapter. It says load text type file from local workstation. What does it mean? I can load any file from my local computer. What file? I need to specify here. Click on a browse. It's going to ask you where is your file. My file is located on desktop. Select desktop. Come down. My file is located under flat file folder. Open it. This is my file. Salesman attributes. Double click. Please observe, when I double click, it is automatically selecting path of my file. Under this particular location, my file is stored. I have to make sure one thing clear here. The purpose of creation of data source I'm creating only to specify where my flat file is located in my computer. We are not loading any data while creating of data source. No, the creation of data source is not the purpose of loading the data. The creation of data source is to specify the path of your flat file where exactly it is located. Then the next step is I need to map my data source fields with my info object, because the salesman ID should goes to salesman ID only. I need to specify the related objects. That will be next step. In this extraction, only thing what you're doing here, you are specifying the path of your flat file location. That's only thing you're doing here. Header is to be ignored. What does it mean? If you see this is called header. I don't want to load the salesman ID, name, age again because I have already created info objects. So I want to ignore this. So what is the number here? It says 1. So header is to be ignored, 1. What is the format, data format? It is CSV. Only CSV it will accept. Okay, what is a CSV stands for? Comma separated value. Data separated should be comma. That's it. These are only settings you need to do in extraction. Go to proposal. There is a button called load example data. It is called file output. It is called proposal. It's going to have a list of fields. Click on load example data. Okay, sorry, we have opened the file. We need to close this one. The file should not be open. Okay. Now click on load example data. Please remember here, the load example data, I am not loading physical data here. It's only proposal, the sample data, how it looks like in your Excel sheet. I am not loading physically. Don't get confusion word with load example data. It's not loading, it's only displaying a proposal or sample data, how data look like in your flat file. Below this, these are all the fields available in your Excel sheet. Please remember, we have created info object SMID _4, name _4, age _4. So it is not your info objects. It is all these fields are coming from your Excel sheet. Now the data has been separated with a comma. Okay, so now go to the fields. When you go to the fields tab, it is displaying all the fields from your Excel sheet, nothing but your data source or flat file. Now it is asking, do you have any related info objects for this? Why? Because the SMID data should come and store where? There's a question mark here. Name should come and store here. There is a question mark again. If you don't specify, BW system doesn't know where the data has to go and sit down. So now we need to specify. What we need to specify? The related objects. What is the related objects? You have created SMID underscore. Press enter. It says do not show this question again. Select this, copy. Otherwise it will going to ask you same thing. See right now, when I'm entering related object, press enter. The field format is changing into BW format. Earlier it was only SMID. Now it become /BIC/SMID underscore 4. What does it mean? This is called field mapping. In this particular screen, when I'm mapping the field, this file, Excel file field is converting into BW file. What does it mean? The data will be converted from CSV format into BW format. Okay? This is called transformation of the data. What is a transformation? A transformation is to convert the source format into destination format of the data. The data will be converted, whatever the source, Excel sheet or database, Oracle, Microsoft or SQL or IBM DB2 or whatever it is. Whatever the format the data is, that will be converted into BW format at this particular point of time. See right now it is name. When I enter name underscore, automatically it will be converted. I think it is sname. Sname underscore. See, please observe here, it's automatically converting. This is called the data conversion happens. Now, age underscore, address underscore, phone underscore, oh sorry, it's phone underscore 4. This is what the field mapping, you should do it at the data source level. When the data is transferring through this, it automatically converts into BW format. Now go to the preview tab. Click on activate. Please observe it's only read preview data, not loading a data. I'm just reading if I load into BW, how the data look like. Okay, that is what read preview data. If you load into BW, the data look like this. Please observe it is exactly the same structure of my Excel sheet I'm creating. This is called modeling. This is called database designing. Yes guys, is it clear for everyone how to create a data source? Dinesh, Sureka?
Yeah, Kiran, it is clear.
Yep, sure, but I think I should.
Yes, Dinesh.
Yeah, no, but I think I need to practice this a couple of times. It's quite clear on the concept wise.
It's only need to understand the concept.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of creation of data source? What and all I'm setting up here. That's the only main thing you need to understand.
Perfect. Yeah. So far so
okay, good. Now just click on go back. Once you've done this one, go back. Now what is my plan? What is the next step in my plan? Data target. My data source is completed. Next data target. What is a data target? Whenever I'm loading a master data, always data target will be info object. Info object. So what type of info object? Always it will be characteristic info object. Characteristic info object. Okay. If I'm loading a transaction data, what would be data target? Data target will be always info cube or DSO, data stored object. So at present we are working with the master data, so forget about transaction data. The next coming classes will be transaction data. So let's talk about master data. So what is the master data? Master data, I am using a characteristic info object to load the master data. So the same info object you should use as a data target also. But by default, characteristic info object is not data target. Then what is the problem? Characteristic info object I'm creating, the purpose of to load a master data, not for to store the data. Okay, so this is not a data target. It is not a data target. Then what I need to do? You need to convert it as data target. Why should I convert? The reason because once the data reach to the data target, then only I can send it for a reporting purpose. Where in reporting? BEX. A BEX tool is called Business Explorer, where we can create reports. So in a BEX, what happens? BEX always looks for data targets. If I enter their SMID, it says it is an info object, it is not a data target. So I don't accept it. So what I need to do? If the BEX has to find out SMID is a data target, then I need to convert it. I need to convert it as data target. Then BEX will identify, okay, you are a data target. Okay, now tell me what reports you want to create. So this is a one simple problem which you have. I'm going to show you a practical example why BEX is not going to identify for you. Okay, see, for example, I'm going here to my BW. I'm going to info object. I created this info object. Under info objects, all your data targets will be under info providers. There is an option called info provider. What does it mean? Data provider. To whom? To reports. BEX reporting tool. Then what happens? Please observe this icon also. It says one arrow with a target. So it is called data target. Either you can call info providers or you can call data targets. Let's say that what happens in case if I want to make my if I don't make my characteristic info object as a data target. What happens? Let's say that I want to show you one report. I'm going to open my BEX. Transaction code is going to be RRMX. Okay, don't bother about this reporting and all the stuff. I want to show you a practically example. I'm just opening and showing that. You don't need to learn at this point of time what is a reporting. We have a separate class for BEX. Okay, let me create one new report. It's going to open your BEX query designer. This BEX query designer, if you want to create a reports, it's going to ask you what is your data target. Okay, see, now I'm clicking on create new. It's asking that find, search in technical name. I'm going to enter SMID underscore code. This is my info object. I have not converted as a data target. I'm just entering as info object. What happens? It says no objects found because it is not identifying as a data target. BEX will identify only data targets. Please observe, please see the screen here. Select your info provider. It is not info provider, it is an info object. Info object is nothing but a field. Info provider is nothing but the place where the data stores. Okay. So now what I need to do? I need to convert my object as info provider. Then only it will accept. Okay. So you want to see another info providers? Let me show you. Go to info provider. Let's say I have here one info cube. RC underscore VIP. Copy this. Just I'm pasting here. I'm just showing you whether it will identify or not. Click on this. It's automatically identifying, because it is an info provider. Your info cube is by default it is info provider, but your info object is not info provider. Okay, so what I need to do, just open this, go back to here. I need to convert. See, where is your 9 PM class? Right click on your info area, select insert characteristic as info provider. What does it mean? Insert characteristic as info provider. If you select this, it is going to ask you which object, what is the technical name, which object you want to convert. I want to convert SMID 4. Okay, press enter. Automatically your salesman ID is coming here. Now please go back to Bex query. Click on create new. Now enter SMID underscore 4. Please observe now, it's going to identify. Can you see here? It's automatically identified because now it is a data target. Is it clear, guys? Yeah, Dinesh, Sureka, is it clear?
Yep.
Okay, so now once you make it as a data target, please expand this. What is the target right now? You have only attributes. Your attributes is your target. So now what is my next step? I need to connect. Now a data target is created, data source created. I need a connection in between this and this. That is called transformation. By the transformation, I'm going to create a connectivity in between my target and my data source. Okay, let's do that. So now go back to BW. This is your target. Right click on master data attributes, create transformation. Now it is going to ask you target of transformation, info object. What is the technical name? SMID4. What type of info object? Attributes. What is the source of the transformation? Data source. What is the technical name? DS underscore MD ATTR4. What is the source system? PC underscore 9 PM. Press enter. Okay, I think data source technical name is not ATTR. Yeah, it's ATTR R4. Let's try now. No, still it is not. Don't worry. Cancel, go to data source. It is DS underscore MD ATT4. Okay, copy this. Go back to info provider. Again, right click on attributes. Select create transformation. Now select source of the transformation is data source. Enter this technical name. PC. If you don't remember the PC name, you can browse. You can look for, this is PC underscore 9 PM. Now click on continue. Please observe, it is automatically mapped with related fields. Salesman ID to salesman, name to name, age to age, address to address, phone to phone. Okay, so everything is perfectly fine. There is no any mistakes here. Properly it is connected each other. Simply click on activate. Please observe, now I'll get a transformation under my attributes. Can you see the transformation icon? This is called transformation. Okay, so now what happens? Now I got a connectivity in between this. So this is also completed. Okay, so everything is completed. So what does it mean? It means that your data modeling is completed for this task. For this task only. Now what is pending? What is next? Data extraction. Extraction from where? From my source system into data source. Then from data source into data target. Then send it for reporting. What is the reporting? Bex. Okay. So now if I want to extract the data from my source system, then what I need to do? I need to create info package. Then data comes and stores here. A place called PSA, persistence staging area, where the data first place. Please remember, if you remember the layers class, we have discussed there are 5 layers. PSA is nothing but your extraction layer, where the data comes and stores. This is the first place of your BW. From here, I need to create DTP, data transfer process. which transfers the data from PSA to data target. Okay, what I need to do now? I need to create info package and DTP. Okay, let's go to BW. Select data source. This is my data source. Please observe it contains only dot. Though you created transformation, still it is not displaying. So what I need to do? Refresh. Now you got arrow, expand, expand. Now you can see your transformation. Okay. Now let's say right click on this, create info package. Enter description. Info pack for data, master data, attributes, loading. Okay. Click on save. So what is the purpose of this info package? To extract the data from the source. Directly go to schedule tab. You have two options. Start data load immediately, start later in the background. Immediately is nothing but right away. Later in the nothing but scheduling. When do you want to load? Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, midnight, or whenever you want. I want to load immediately. Select immediately, click on start. It says that data was requested. What does it mean? Data loaded into BW. I want to see whether it's loaded or not. How do I know that? I need to check the loading option. Where is that PSA? So how do I check the data loaded or not? There is a button called monitor. Click on monitor. It will display your load request, so and so date, so and so time, 10 records loaded. Please observe here, request successfully loaded to PSA. Okay, select your request. There is a button called PSA maintenance. Click on it. It says there are 10 records. Continue. Now you can see the data in PSA. Can you see that? The data loaded into PSA. Now the data is available in BW. Okay, now what I need to do? I need to send this data to my data target. For that, I need to create DTP, data transfer process. Right click on data source again. Select create data transfer process. You don't need to set up anything, it automatically picks up. You need to understand what is the information it has. Target of DTP is info object. Technical name is this. Type is this. Source is data source. Technical name is this. Source system is this. No need to set up anything. Very simple. Click on continue. Extraction mode, you have two options. Full load, delta load. What is a full load? Full load in the sense it will load a complete number of records available in the file. So first time if you're loading a data into BW, it should be full. What is a delta? When I'm going to use? After full load, for example, I loaded today 10 records. Tomorrow I'm going to get another 10 records. If I make it as a full, it will load 20 records again. Though I have already 10 records, I don't want to load the same records again. What I want only newly created records. But it is not possible with the full load. Full load always will blindly take number of records in flat file. Irrespective whether you loaded or not, it is not going to check. But if you select delta, it is always check for newly created records, deleted records, modified records. It never loads already loaded records again. That is called delta load. So in this example, I want to load full because I'm loading first time. Now simply go to execute tab. This execute button is not active. Click on activation. Continue. Now it is active. Click on execute. It says that, do you want to display the request monitor? Yes. All are green. What does it mean? Data loaded successfully. How many? 10 records loaded. How do I know that? Whether the data is in a data target or not. There is a button called Administer Data Target. Click on that. It will take you a screen called Manage Info Provider. Nothing but manage your data target. Here it will show you request number, which is load request number generated by the system. there is an icon. It says data is ready for reporting. What does it mean? Now you can create reports on top of this. Okay. What date loaded? When time? What time loaded? How many records loaded? How many records added? What type of extraction? Full date. Basis target, selectable data target. This is my target. What is this? Salesman ID. What is the technical name? SMID4. What is this? Info object. What type of info object? Characteristic info object. But I convert it as a data target. Select your data target. Click on contents. Click on execute. Please observe the data is in SMID_4. Now I got the data. Now I can start creating reports. Guys, is this clear now? This is how you load the data from the flat file into BW automatically. Any questions now? Yeah, Dinesh, Sureka, any questions now?
Kiran, I have a couple of questions from yesterday's class. Can I ask now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, while creating these attributes and all, while checking for the this table data and all, this PCNO_2 and all, like we have only 5 info objects we have added, but it is showing like 7 and 2 fixed something like 2 columns are fixed and only 5 info objects which we have created or displayed. What are those 2? I mean, like one is changed that name is. The other one is one second. The other one is like OBJDERS. I think this is the object version. What are those 2 things?
1 second, Sureka. I didn't get you. What do you mean by changing this? We have created 5 info objects yesterday.
Yeah. No, we were checking this, the data in the table, right?
Oh, okay, that is SC11 and checking the data in the master data tables.
If you could go back to SC11, I can show you.
I got it now. Okay, you're asking me why the columns are not displaying.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
columns are displaying, but the thing is 2 extra columns are also displaying.
Yes, I'm going to show you that. /OSC11. Yesterday we entered, what is that? Remember any?
The first one itself.
Do you remember what is info object name? Do you remember?
Yeah. It's MCNO.
Oh, MC number. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See here. These are the tables contains a different kind of structure. See, you need to understand this. I'm going back to RSA 14. Yes. /n RSA. Okay. So where is this? Here, I think this is an example. No, here. Yeah. See, if I open my primary object, go to master data /text, I have a different types of tables. The table name starts with M. It is not a table, it is a view. The structure of view will be different. It is a P table. It is nothing but a primary table. Then I have attributes table. The structure will be different. There is one more table called SID table. This structure will be different. What does it mean? SID table contains always a technical information where you can link the tables in between each other. Okay. This concept comes when we have a class called InfoQ. Now, but here in MSC table we have a view, P table, X table. Now I'm going back to this S11. Enter. I'm opening a view here. Click on display. Click on contents. Execute. It contains customer number, it contains observation ID, change ID. These two has been created by the system for understanding of system purpose. Then I have a column called name, age, address and phone. But always first column will be blank. Okay, this is a view. Now come back here. Yeah, I'm going to say P table. Display, contents, execute. Your P table and your M view both have a very similar structure. Okay?
Yeah.
Both have very similar structure because a table is nothing but to store the data. A view is nothing but to display, represent the data. So the BEX, how the data is going to the BEX? Through the view only, not from the table. Always we create the reports based on the view, not based on the table. That is the reason your table structure and your view structure both are same.
Okay. And what about these all null values, Kiran, the first row?
Yeah, that will be always blank. First row will be blank.
No, I'm asking about the phone number and the age. Those two are numeric values, right? For those two only it is taking null values.
Yeah, because so only for the
by
numbers
default
it is.
It will be like that, or?
No. Because if you have any kind of number object, it is going to take zeros as a default. If you have any characteristic object, it is going to show you blank.
Okay.
One is a purposely they have left this one column because for technical purpose the system is going to create lot of technical characteristics also. See, let me show you SID. You'll understand that. Yes, C number _2 is completely technical. This table.
Okay.
Can you see? Only C number, SID number, check value, data flow, inflow. All are X. We don't understand what is because this is only for system understanding purpose.
Okay.
But this SID table will be really going to help us to connecting the different tables called relation. It will make a relation in the different tables. That concept will it will be clear when you are learning a InfoCube class.
Okay.
I hope so, guys. Is clear today's class. Please practice this class.